welcome. God dang, I just swallowed and I was going to have that thing where my voice did something weird because the liquid was going down. And so I kind of paused myself.
Mike started the show off with a nice big swallow.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Ames. Hello, Etard.
Hello.
As I've been calling this, I haven't come up with the title yet, but it's something like DEI Tuesdays, which is like dumb Isis involved, or I've got a few like a lot of people are doing plays on like DEI, but I figure DEI like dopey Isis included or dipshit Isis inserted.
Yeah,
something. I'm open to suggestions, but I want to get involved in the DEI game.
Gotcha.
That everybody's
so you need those letters. It needs to be those letters. You're just trying to decide what the wording is.
Absolutely, it's got the E in there, which is critical for Isis, and then whatever we can do around that.
Dumb Eric invite. I don't know. That's not good.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. See, I've got dumb Isis involved.
Yeah.
So it's got, and dude, finding words that are inclusion. Yeah, I guess that would work. That start with I is not as easy as it sounds. I came up with involved, included, inserted, possibly in play. If I did a hyphen.
Did you go to a thesaurus? So did you consider using a thesaurus?
Did you use ChatGPT?
Or ChatGPT?
I did not use ChatGPT, but I don't know. I try to avoid using those as much as I can.
I hear
Today's been but anyway, it's DEI Tuesday. Welcome, Isis.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
If you could take ChatGPT and say, what do you think of this podcast? Turn on and listen to like your whole show, and then just go, what do you think of it, Jeep Chat? What would it?
You totally could. You could totally upload an episode
and just be like, what's your opinion on this, ChatGPT?
You can even tell Grok to go like unhinged. If you were to say, Grok, go unhinged on this podcast.
Oh, dang.
And then it'll kind of like, it'll be more of a colorful description.
Yeah. Gotcha. I have seen some samples of that because I need to get way more doing that. There's a listener that's been reaching out to me.
Here's the thing, Mike, just from my perspective, like being someone who's attempted to write jokes and whatnot in my life, I get the need and a creative person that you don't almost want to give into it. You feel like you should be able to come up with the stuff. Mm-hmm. You should, but honestly, I won't get too into it now, but I have something I want to do next year that I was like, just another big trip, and I'm trying to decide how to do it and how to structure it. And I'm like, the problem is I don't like to give in to like group talks and like, let me ask other people and sit around. But finally I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to do this. And you just sit there and you can spend, half hour, an hour and talking. And then this is what I'm trying to do. And this is my thoughts. Oh, that's a good thing. Have you thought about this? Or what about this? Or title? Yeah. And it really fucking is like sitting there with another writing partner or something.
I totally agree with you. And you nailed it, actually, Isis. Congratulations. When you're talking about the creative aspect of it, that's where I fall off like, I'm totally with you when it comes to like, hey, give me the perfect route and things to do between here and between X and Y for a day trip. Like, totally get it. Can be helpful. The other thing that is useful, there's a I don't think he's a listener of this, but he was like a Drew and Mike fan and has reached out to me about best of stuff. And he was like, yeah, you should check out these old episodes. I'm like, yeah, I won't be doing that, but okay. He's like, the amount of people that want me to listen to old Drew, it's like hilarious. But he's like, yeah, here's an episode from April 3rd, 2000.
97.
And it's like this unbelievable write-up. And I'm like, who the fuck listened to this and then did this write-up? And he's like, oh no, I just plugged that into fucking
whatever, and
one of these AI programs, and it's free, and I'm like, oh yeah, we need to be doing that with the show,
right?
Uploading it through whatever the generator is. That's like, because right now, when we get done with this show, for instance, I immediately the next step is text AA run. So if the show's not there in 3 minutes, when we're done with it, it's totally AA run's fault, 100%. If you want to blame anyone, it's him dropping the ball, because the very first thing I do is say, bye, see you tomorrow. and then I write out by hand, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck did we do? I don't know. Amy talked about her tits being awesome. Isis talked about being retarded, and Karen Reed, I don't know. Said,
Oh boy. Why would you even? Don't even say that. It's too early. I don't want to hear it yet. I'm just kidding.
And so, and then Aaron gets to it. I don't know. Someday in the next month, he'll get to it and post it,
Right?
And then you guys will get the show. Otherwise, you watch it live or you don't get it. So having something like that where it's like, I don't know what we did, just plug it in and let it go.
Right.
And then it's like some eloquent, well thought out, well, at 3 minutes in, Amy talked about her sweet titties. And then 5 minutes and 20 seconds in, Isis talked about being retarded. And it's like perfect. And then for the rest of the show, Amy blathered on about Karen Reed. There was your episode.
For sure.
That's the episode for the next 6 to 8 weeks. That's the description.
We got a rundown on Amy's crazy mom, libtard mom, for 5 minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no,
nailed it.
Sure. But see, something like that, in that example, though, it wouldn't be taking away anything that you're already doing, any creative-wise. It would just be being more efficient in finding a way to give us some synopsis to put on, whether it's the website or YouTube or whatever you're using it for. But
it kills me that my whole career I focused on the creative, the art
not
that
cheating,
was
Mike.
going on. No, the art that was going on in the show, the art that was the Drew and Mike show or even TDC. It drove Jay nuts. At Drew and Mike, it was very doable because it was like everybody kind of had their wheelhouse, and it was like you could just focus in on what you did. Yeah, and it was like, don't bother me with all that tech nerd shit. And so now I don't know how to do anything, and so I completely rely on the generosity and brain power of others to do anything, because it's like I can help punch up shit. I can, find great, content and deliver it. But as far as any other, like how we're doing this right now is a miracle to me. It's a miracle. Yeah. Right? How is this
so
set up
funny,
and we're doing it?
You guys are so different in the creative world, whereas in the business world, if someone has an email out there that they sent to like a sales prospect that worked, fucking send it to me, because I'm going to copy that shit and I'm going to send it to my client. Or like ChatGPT, if you can come up with a better way to word this email to try and get me some business or whatever it might be, do it. Like I have no pride in any of that.
Believe me, when we're in Dallas, we're going to go to dinner one night and sit down and be like, okay, what do we do? We are going to sit down and come up with a game plan that will be best for all of us. Because I don't feel comfortable if people are here not getting paid. Like, fuck all that. Oh, like, no, for real. Like, I feel like if this is the cast of characters that are doing it, I want people paid for their time, and it should be fun, and it should involve whoever needs to be involved, and it's as simple as that. Like, this isn't a joke.
I just get my listening in a few hours before everybody else does, so it's fine. I mean, I'm listening to the podcast
Mike,
anyway.
You're really off the ball once in a while, and I haven't done it in a few months but once in a while, I throw Amy Starbucks gift cards.
There you go.
Cards.
See,
so he does.
I throw a Starbucks gift cards only like once a month. I forgot. Yeah, I've kind of been off the ball,
but I want to cut her a check. Easy.
I know.
It's okay.
Like for real, there is a point, and there like that benefits me. It benefits it. There's just something about being paid to do something that makes you take it more seriously, makes you be the best you can be. Understands that, not that Amy doesn't already do that, but there's like an obligation to what you're doing. Like, hey, this is for real, and we have a responsibility now. I feel it, I know. Amy would probably feel that. Like it's just natural. Like otherwise, it's just screwing around. Which
I thought you were going to say you wanted to sit down in Dallas and hear about what I did for a living, and I was going to say,
which
Mike,
I have no fucking idea,
dude. She's Chandler Bing. She's Chandler Bing. Right. If you were asked like the final trivia question was, "What does Amy do?" But it'd be like, she's a transponder.
Right. The amount of times people in my life ask. And I'm like, and she's explained it to me, and I have
about what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't, and I'm like, I don't. I always tell you something.
My mom doesn't even know. So
what I say, I think it's something with real estate and like money or something in corporations.
Yeah. Real estate, money, corporations, all those things are involved.
There we go. Right?
Yeah, I have no idea. Sorry, I'm changing the background here. There we go. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's better than when we have three of us.
You're right, though. It's very Chandler Bing-esque. I mean, I used to say to me, Mike, in general, like,
hold on. How do I get that little guy off there?
Oh, I don't know.
Shit. I only want.
We're doing this on the fly.
Yeah, doing it on the fly. I don't care. It's going to drive me nuts.
Do it live.
We'll do it live.
Well,
Mike
is playing around with that. Let me just take this opportunity to give everybody a little bit of a Karen Reed update.
While you're doing that, I'm going to close my bedroom door that I realized I left open, and I'll be.
We'll get this together at some point.
Yeah, totally. They are. I think that they are up to 13 jurors now. They need like 3 more. Then they're going to have a jury and their alternates. Karen said today after court, she thinks opening statements are going to be next Tuesday. So it's officially going to start next Tuesday. And boy, am I excited.
I know you are.
What is it that is so exciting? I mean, I do get it because we all like reality. Well, not reality television, but we like drama as humans. But like, what is it about these murder trials that is such a big deal?
Well,
not just with you, by the way, but with white women.
Oh yeah, no,
it's a white woman thing.
It's a white woman. It totally is. But this one just has everything. I mean, it has, it involves cops, a dead cop, a girlfriend. They say she hit
corruption.
Him with a car.
Humans, man.
A cover up. Yeah. People getting rid of cell phones on army bases.
Oh my gosh.
Googling at 2:27 in the morning how long to die in the cold.
That's smart.
Like, just crazy shit.
Smart Google choice right there,
dude. How have people not
charged, Eric? The person they were charged did not Google how long.
Okay. Okay.
Someone
even
else
so, how are we still playing that game with Google searches? Like seriously, like it's the same thing every time I see some fucking liberal douchebag key a Tesla, and it's like, how do you not know this is completely on video? There's Sentry mode, like. There's no chance you're getting away with this. Like, I'd have more respect if you were like, I'm taking a BB gun from 100 yards and I'm just plucking it into these windows and I'm not on the, like, how do you keep like,
you should Google
on the sly,
anything.
I'm going to use a key and I'm just going to, no one's looking at me. It's like, really? How do you see a crime take place or be involved in a crime and immediately go to Google and ask it, like, how do I get out of trouble for this thing that maybe I saw?
That the second she did it, she was probably like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's crazy.
So crazy.
You need to Google, obviously assuming that anything you're Googling, you wouldn't want the police to know about or or something.
Well, and
or your spouse or whatever.
Out of all of the searches she ever made in the lifetime of having her phone, she deleted one Google search and it was that one.
I didn't even know you could delete them.
And this is a woman who was in the house the night that essentially this guy was found dead on the front lawn. He was a Boston cop, found dead on the front lawn of another Boston cop. He was invited there that night. They were having a party.
Oh boy.
Karen dropped him off there. She said he got out of the car and he went into the house. She went home. He never came home. And now they're saying she hit him with her vehicle. And other people are saying, no, he got into a fight in the house. His only injuries are a gash to the back of his head. He's got bruised knuckles and he has like dog bites and scratches all over his arm.
Fucking wild, man.
So what people think is they got into a fight. I don't think that anybody intended to kill him, but he fell, hit his head, and they panicked and they put him out on the fucking front lawn.
Right.
And then one of the people in the house at 2:27 in the morning Googled how long to die in the cold.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then when you look into some of the details, Isis, it's like you start getting a picture painted about who the individuals are, and there's a lot of like family connections, police department that has outsized power in a community and kind of knows it. And if you look at it the right way, is like, they kind of use that power to bully people a bit, and they use that. And it's like, kind of think they're untouchable, kind of think they can get away with whatever.
Yeah.
And
how weird, man. And it's funny, and you've talked about this so many times, Mike, but the littlest amount of power that it takes for someone to start to go like, oh, I have some power.
That's just
whether it's like I started as a police chief or not a chief, maybe just like on their beat. Now I'm the chief, and now it's like, well.
They've gotten away with it for so long that it doesn't even.
But it's like that for some people.
Yeah,
like, just
and like
that.
The lead investigator on the case, he got dishonorably discharged from the Massachusetts State Police like a month ago because of his conduct in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, like they got his text messages and he was calling her like a see you next Tuesday with his friends and talking about her medical issues and saying she was like a crazy bitch and all this
looking
stuff.
for nudes.
Yeah.
Looking for nudes in her phone. Yeah. It was not a good situation. But the last trial ended in a mistrial.
That's just good detective work right there. But the other stuff
it was funny
highly out of line.
It was funny because the defense attorney.
There's a thin line, Mike, between thin blue line between right and wrong.
Dude, it's very troubling to me when I got mature enough to realize like, oh, the teachers in school are probably talking shit about you in the teacher's lounge.
Why wouldn't they be?
Or the professional nurse in a nursing setting is probably telling everybody how fucked your dick is as soon as she gets into the break room with the other nurses. Like what you think is like, oh, they're just humans and they're shitty. So you think like, oh, lead detective, he wears a suit and he talks at the podium and he's a professional, by the book. And it's like, no, he's telling all his buddies, I haven't found any fucking great titty shots yet on this chick's phone. And it's like, everybody, no matter what, is just a fucking scumbag.
The defense attorney was like, do you do that with male suspect phones as well, or is that just a female thing?
Yeah.
Good question. I
know, right?
The answer is so obvious.
Yeah, they've prejudged something. They already have an idea about what the reality is. It's just different than we all thought it was. How
and the other funny
reality
thing too is like the reality to me. I know it sounds like the oldest joke in the world, but guys just for the most part, most people don't even care about dicks anyway. Like it's guys or girls. I think women are highly sought after to see nude pictures, and guys are like, I don't fucking, who cares?
Yeah,
gross, ugly
same
dick. I don't need
like
to
I would never, if I had a hot suspect's phone, I wouldn't be taking it and like, let me see if he's got any dudes in here, because like I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me.
Personally, there's something to me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is from going to church early as a kid and just kind of having an idea of like right from wrong, or somewhere in my subconscious, God's looking at you kind of thought process. But like if you left your phone here, like you could totally trust that it would sit here. And the last thing I would do is I would have trouble, honestly, if your phone was sitting right here, like moving it to a safe place. So like I put my hands on her phone. That's her shit. Like the idea that I would be like, I wonder if she's taking any pictures of her titties that I can find. Like, no, dude, I'm not that guy at all. I'm not going to go through your drawers. I'm not going to go through your phone. It's just something so like, it's just off. I feel like I get caught for sure and try to explain in some way like that you're not a creep. It's like, no, you are that forever,
Mike.
And it's just like, no.
Sorry about that.
I have nothing wrong with you sending. You want to send me titty pic? I'm all for it. But the idea of like going through your phone, like, nope, now I'm on the hunt. I got someone made a mistake and I'm going to capitalize and I'm going through their shit. Like, no, you never have to worry about that with me. You just don't.
This is
just
not the
don't.
exact same thing, but it kind of.
I think you are. I think you are. I know you well enough.
I don't go through people. No, I don't mean that. But this example is not exactly the same as like nude pics, but it's kind of there. I dog sit for Amy's Proops, once in a while, and she's recently moved in the last whatever now to a newer house, and I was out there. I believe I talked about this with her on the podcast actually, but I was dog sitting and I was outside. And now she's in a newer neighborhood. And now everything is so technology. Like there's like everyone has backyard cameras. I can see her parents, or her neighbors. I can see hers. And I know she has a camera that looks at deer and shit. And my point of the story is in her old house, I had no problem sometimes I'd have a night where I'd drink some beers, listen to music, and I would go outside sometimes and just go to the bathroom in the yard outside. No problem with it. Never even considered it.
Yeah.
And like now she's in this house where there's like these cameras up there and shit. And I'm like, I sat there one time for about 3 minutes going like, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Just go inside. Just go inside.
Yeah, the bathroom is right fucking there.
Yeah.
But I'm like looking at her neighbor's house and her, and like they're so close. I'm like, they probably got cameras, and but even then, would it matter?
Probably wouldn't pick you up at night doing it, but during the day.
It's not quite the same story, but it changed my mind about even going to the bathroom just outside in the yard. Because I'm like, fuck. She's probably
that's probably a good thought.
Yeah, that would be the toughest part. Like if I was dog sitting and staying at Amy's house, like that, like I wouldn't want to go upstairs in the bedroom area, like nothing, dude. I don't like. I want to be comfortable in my own mind. Like, no, man, I didn't even go up those fucking stairs. So if your panty drawer is messed with, take it up with someone else. Wasn't even up there.
I can picture that too. Like I didn't even venture up there.
Nope, didn't even go up there.
Diesel's been up there for a week. I didn't even go up there.
Once he went up there, that's out of my range. I don't even want to. I don't want anyone suggesting I was in your room.
Yeah, if your fucking crotchless panties went missing, find someone else to blame. Wasn't me. It wasn't up there. Didn't even wander up there. Nope.
Yeah.
Dude, Troy lived at my house for 5 years. Now, a couple of those years I was not living there.
Yeah.
But he did. I think I ventured in that room. Like it would be like open the door, toss a shirt in and close the door. Like, fuck that. I don't.
Yeah.
No, man. No. Like,
well, that's at your house.
That's at my own house. No, I didn't even walk into his fucking bathroom. God forbid what I'd find anyways. But no, it was like, nope. That someone is renting that room and that bathroom. Forget it.
Yeah. No, I hear it. And
God.
Honestly, when I'm pet sitting, I guess I do babysitting.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It kind of is. Well, the baby can now talk to me, and the dogs can't really. They kind of can, but not the same way.
Oh, I was gonna say they talk plenty to me. I mean, that's
they talk, but you're not speaking words,
dude.
English words.
You're about to make a J argument, and I don't like it.
Oh no. What I was saying, no. God, no. How dare you?
How dare you?
How fucking dare you?
My dog's like a 2-year-old. Yeah, well, my 2-year-old's gonna grow up and speak, asshole.
That's not what I was saying. I was just saying.
Yeah, my kid has a soul.
Yeah,
right, no. But what was the point of it? Where I was going with that? Oh, but a dog sitting for us. I am the same way that you described it. Like I am so nervous. The idea that I'm gonna dig through something and be like, what we got down here? Like it's so.
Yeah.
I would say in her newer home, nothing. Not that she wouldn't have had technology available to her in the old home, but because it's new, I'm way more under the impression there are just cameras everywhere. Like,
yeah.
And I do nothing to dispel him of those concerns.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you should.
Dude, but I agree with you. That's always in my mind too, but that's more like, but I would have never done it 30 years ago. Like 30 years ago, I had the same kind of thoughts. Like, nope, not going. Like, I won't go in the warden's room. She's got a room up there that's kind of like her office / there's a bed in there. So I don't nap room. I don't know what it is, but it's like, nope, she better be in there and I better sort of like be invited into the room. Like I'm not.
No, I think my thing
like your shit.
My personal thing, I think, not that I wouldn't have felt this anyway, but I think my personal thing comes from having this came up on the thing when me and Amy were doing it this week, because I think I do my thing sometimes in the basement, and I swear to God, my mom like came down the stairs and was like eavesdropping, because my mom fucking is a snoop.
Yeah,
she's a big time snoop, and so like I think that because of that,
Mrs. Fady,
I'm so anti it for other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because of that, my reaction to that amongst other people is like, I do not want anyone to think I'm doing that to them. That's just my opinion on where it comes from on my end. But
yeah, I grew up in a household where boundaries were super respected. Now, my parents were not the ones that were going through drawers like, is there any weed in here? Or like, what music are you listening to? Like, never.
Yeah.
Like I had the devil's music when I was 5. Like they didn't care. There was none of that. So I just never grew up around that. And it wasn't like, oh, look what we found under your mattress. Like,
yeah,
they weren't I just didn't grow up in that kind of household, but I don't know.
I did.
Is what it is.
So
I know you did. I know you did.
But oh well, it's what it is.
My mom was so mad when I downloaded Eminem and I think it was Limp Bizkit on the computer, like the family computer.
Yeah.
You download this stuff one more time, you are never using this computer again.
Because of the content, or because it was taking up too much space?
There's a Limp Bizkit song that says the F word like every other word. It's like
Starfish album.
Yup, it's called Hot Dog, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And I just remember it's like, if I say fuck 2 more times, that's 46 fucks and it's fucked up rhyme, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was that particular song. My mom was like, "This is like, you better not ever download music like this again."
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
they're
on tour now too. Isn't that cool?
Are they?
Yeah,
and they're really apparently like that's a funny thing. Killing it. Had this big revival a few years ago, and it's like just been killing it.
It's the weirdest story.
Eminem is grandpa now.
Did she have the kid, or she's pregnant?
She did. She had the kid. So she named it Elliot Marshall, and I think her last name is McClintock or something like that. Elliot Marshall McClintock. So the baby's initials are M.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. You think that was that's
and obviously on purpose. Marshall is the middle name.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So. Imagine Eminem being your grandpa.
No, I know. It's still weird. It's weird with Kid Rock. It's weird with Kid Rock because Kid Rock's like, what does he call himself? As something grandpa all the time.
Yeah.
So
whenever he's doing an interview. Yeah, it is.
I think for me, those are going to be the weird things when they die. I mean, imagine Eminem dying.
No.
And not like 10 years ago from a drug OD. Like he just died.
Just like as an old man.
Yeah. Kind of wild.
We're all going to die, though, I guess.
No, I know, because we all think of Haley as a 2-year-old girl, like mumbling stuff. No, if I had the drop iPad here, like we used to play those drops of Jay's kids.
My God, yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day. How old is Sweet Pie now? She's got to be in like college almost.
Yeah. For real.
Almost.
I saw Mikey, and literally I couldn't recognize him.
They have to be like graduated from college.
Yeah, he's like a firefighter now. He's a firefighter, Mikey. Yes, dude. And I saw him, and I was like, who is this adopted fucking weird kid that I don't recognize?
That is huge. Crazy.
Yeah, he's got tattoos.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wild. Yeah. And Sweet Pie's like a fucking woman now. And it's like she came over. What was she, 3?
God, I think about it now, probably.
I mean, she had the Cindy Brady lisp.
Yeah.
Totally.
Airwick, just spit it out, Airwick.
Right.
Out already.
Yeah. It's like, holy shit, man. It's wild.
Wild.
And I still have a cassette with Drew and Mike announcing Gab giving birth to their first kid. Yeah. Like, wished them luck. Here's this fucking 25-year-old guy having a kid with Gab. Crazy. Like, yeah.
Time fucking flies. It's what it is. But
it sure does.
Ridiculous. I wanted to give some well wishes out. Our boy, I was supposed to have a meeting today with Trav and Ron, and Trav he had some sort of procedure. He had surgery, I guess, on his vulva, he said. And I was like, whoa.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I think I'm almost positive. He said he was having his vulva removed or something. And so I was like, sense. So he can't talk for some reason. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, he could barely talk or something. And I was like, dude, huh?
Did it hurt his texting ability or what?
No. He wanted to plow through. And I'm like, look, man, I need people that are freely talking a lot, like going through some stuff. And finally Aaron was like, what surgery did you have? And he said, I can't remember what he said, his vulva or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, wow, that sounds serious. So I want to wish him the best as he recovers from vulva surgery. And hopefully he feels better.
It is something close to that, Mike.
What?
So I'll give you vulva. Vulva. It's the uvula.
Oh, same thing, right? That's the same thing.
It's the thing that hangs down and that dangly thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus,
vulva.
man. I feel like that would
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. The
So
vulva.
I don't think he has a gag reflex anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the only reason you get
That's a
those
game changer.
removed. That's the
That
only
is
reason
the reason. That
you
is
get the
reason.
vulva removed is
Yeah.
to expand your
I
gag
think
reflex.
he's preparing to go undercover in some covert CIA operation.
Yeah.
I
So
see it.
he needed to get his dangly thing removed.
Yeah.
You want to talk about another guy who I
He's
don't know
going
what
into
they
the
done.
male prison at CSOT in El Salvador, and they're like, just to be safe, we're going to take your gag reflex out. And he's like, whatever you need, boss. Whatever you need me to do, I'm your guy.
Well, like you wanted to talk about another person who I have no idea what he does.
Well,
None.
that's on purpose.
Hmm.
because he's in
Yeah.
the CIA and he can't tell
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
Dude.
in fact, I would just generally say the amount of adults that I consider people that have like real jobs, I
Yeah.
don't know what they do.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're outside of like a lawyer or a doctor or an athlete, I don't generally have any idea what you're
No.
what
I
you're
remember my
Dude,
dad even,
my
like asking my
brother-
dad, what do you do, Dad? Like, what
Yeah.
do you do? Like, and then like, and he's like, well, I do this. I'm like, no, when you get to work, what do you do? I feel like I don't fucking know.
You should do like take Big E to work days with people
Right.
and like go with random people on like take your child to work day
Right.
and
Yeah.
learn about what they do. And you
I
can
would
do
love
like
to,
a day
yeah.
in the life of random people.
Yeah.
Oh, see, the problem is I'd be so bored. I'd just start fucking around in someone else's office. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't
generally
really
what
learn and take notes. I'd find the other goofball in the office and he and I would hit it off. And then we'd be making fun of everybody in
Yeah.
else in the workspace. So
Yeah.
it'd be very disruptive
Well, it's very-
if I tried to do that.
It's very easy to show up into a job when you know you don't have to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you know you don't have to be there, then it's like, dude, I could leave in 5 minutes. I could just leave the second you want me to do something hard, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to see
totally.
what's going down. But
You know,
like,
I know they say that productivity is up when you're in the office, but I'll tell you, like when I'm at home, I'm not having hour-long conversations with coworkers. But there were times where coworkers would come sit in my office and we just shoot the shit for like 2 hours.
yeah.
And before
Yeah.
you know it, the day's over. It's like,
Oh, I
time
get
to go
going
home.
here.
Yeah. See, the thing with that is for me and for Isis, that's just show prep.
Yeah.
So when we're in a confined space and that's just throwing the ball around, the next thing you know, you've got an hour 20 on the air. So like those things, like we would get nothing done in a meeting and taking notes and what are you working on? Like that would be totally not productive at all for us.
Yeah, it's
So it's no, there's
No
three
way
people in my life where you could tell me and they have told me over and
Yeah.
over what exactly they do. And I know my brother. So, it's not people that I don't care about. Like
yeah.
Amy's another one. Amy's a great example. And Trav, we think we've nailed Travis. He's clearly, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think Jennifer's involved too.
You got to
Yeah.
remember, at one point he
and
was
it's-
flying all over the world before COVID. Like,
Yeah.
remember, he had,
He's
he had,
kind
like,
of back
trips
to that. He's kind of back to
Okay.
doing it.
Is
Yeah.
he? Okay.
And they've
Yep.
got the super smart robot kids.
Robot kids. Yep. That are like,
So-
concert pianist at 3. Like, yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, none of
Exactly.
it makes sense, dude. It's
They're
like
they were in college courses, like their freshman year of high
third grade.
school.
Yeah, Yeah. yeah.
I mean,
No,
that
it's-
only happens if you have top-notch CIA homeschooling.
Right. Like we figured it out. It's probably his cover's almost blown at this point. They're gonna have to move and relocate.
Or
Right,
kill
right.
us.
And him getting his vulva removed is like step one and probably a new process.
He just
He's gonna
that's
pop up in
He's gone next
Guatemala or something,
Yep.
working for the agency. We won't see him
Yep.
for decades. It'll
Yeah.
be
Decades.
he's off.
week. Decades.
yeah.
Doing whatever he does.
Anyways, I was kind of bummed. I saw Disney's got a new live action version of the movie Tangled, which they're shit
Are they
canning.
going to cast a bald chick in it?
Dude, I actually wrote down like what do you do? So if you don't know, Tangled is the famous Brothers Grimm story going way back about Rapunzel, Reputa. So they're putting a pause on that, put on hold indefinitely. So it's unclear why they paused the production. Came right after Snow White bombed.
Yes, pick me. I know
Yeah.
why.
Go ahead, Ames. What do you think?
Snow White bombed.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's got to be it, right? Like when you spend
100%.
270 million on a production and you take in 145 million worldwide,
100%.
that's like, I don't know where you're going to make that up. You can't make that up on the back end DVD sales.
Right.
So
I also bet that they had a ridiculous cast set for it. And after the ridiculous cast that they had in Snow White, they were like, we should probably go back and look at the casting, make sure we got this right, because we can't afford another bomb.
well, I was like, Rapunzel, I don't really remember the story. That wasn't one that dudes tended to gravitate to. And so I looked it up, and there are some problems in this story for sure when you look at Rapunzel, and I'm coming
You mean like the
blind.
storyline?
Yeah, Rapunzel is a beautiful.
a lot of those old, I know why Snow White. I'm not getting into the Snow White version of it specifically, but a lot of those are very questionable storylines in reality.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially like, Brothers Grimm.
Yeah,
those are dark as shit.
Right.
Which, whatever, they are what they are. The old tales.
No, I'm just saying. But if you look at them, like there's some darkness to a lot of that stuff, and a lot of those fairy tales and shit.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on Hansel and Gretel. I mean, like that is
Little
Red
Riding Hood. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah. No, Hansel and Gretel throw a bitch in the oven. Okay, like there's some dark shit in there.
For a lady that's forced them to like work at her candy house, right, or something. Or,
yeah, It's all like, but Rapunzel.
Was that what
Rapunzel?
It was?
Like something like that.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, but I think you're right. Rapunzel is a beautiful girl born to a couple who longed for a child. Her mother, pregnant and craving a plant called Rapunzel, which is a type of lettuce or herb. What a typical pain in the ass mom, by the way. I'm hungry. I need Rapunzel. And it's like, this poor fucking guy has to go out on a Rapunzel hunt now for a head of lettuce for this chirping bitch in the other room.
Yeah. Like she was craving lettuce?
Yeah, she's craving Rapunzel, which, I didn't even know what it was, but it's like a head of lettuce, some herb, but you can only get it at this witch's garden.
Wow.
And it's like, so yeah, oh my God, I'm starving. What with being pregos and all. And it's like, oh, I need Rapunzel, this thing out of a witch's garden.
Yeah.
And this guy's
red flag.
Yeah, total red flag. Like this guy, the husband, who's now on like, that's going to go well. Yeah, let's just go steal shit from a witch's garden, you know? So his options were go steal from a witch or listen to this bitch all night. Like, so put in an impossible situation. So
we'll go on a venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes on a venture. And what do you know? Of course, he's caught by a sorceress witch, Dame Gothel, who allows him to take the plant in exchange for their unborn child.
For their firstborn.
Yeah.
That's where that saying comes from? Like I'll give you my firstborn if you give me that,
Yeah, exactly. This is a total man move, by the way, because that guy's he gets caught red-handed. He's stealing this fucking Rapunzel for old won't shut the fuck up back home. And the witch is like, yeah, you can take it, but I get your firstborn. So he is a problem solver. This is what men do. He's like, look, I am going to solve today's problem today, and we will deal with tomorrow's problem tomorrow.
And so he's like, hey, Paul situation.
Yeah. He's thinking, all right, let me just get this Rapunzel back to fucking old won't shut the hell up. And then, I'll deal
worry
with
about this fucking down the line.
Yeah. That I got 3 months before this thing even pops out of her.
Maybe she'll forget.
Maybe the witch will forget by then.
Yeah, maybe she'll forget.
Yeah,
she's
who
a witch
knows?
after all.
Yeah.
But that's a very man move. Like, okay, I got a problem I'm facing today. I'm going to solve this one today. We'll deal with tomorrow's problem tomorrow. So Rapunzel is born. Witch Gothel there, Dame Gothel takes her away. Gothel raises Rapunzel in a tall, isolated tower with no doors and no stairs, accessible only by climbing Rapunzel's long golden hair. Yeah.
What a crazy world that could be grown into.
I know. So she's stuck up there with this long golden hair, and the only way anyone can come up is when Gothel yells, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." What is there a follow-up line to that?
I thought there was, but that's kind of where my knowledge of it ends.
Okay. Rapunzel grows up sheltered and unaware of the outside world. One day, a prince hears Rapunzel singing from the tower and is captivated. He watches. What's that?
Always a prince.
Always a prince. He watches.
What must have been like to be a prince back then? You just wander around and hope that you find some fucking broad to save, I guess, or whatever.
Some dadless, some fatherless.
Is that their profession
somewhere?
Like, is that what
else? Brought in an orphanage.
What are princes doing when they're not on these? Like, what was he doing, and what are they doing when they're not in these situations? Like, where was he going before? You know what I mean?
I don't know. He was wandering through the forest.
Yeah.
Just and then thank God he heard this hot chick singing.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, finally some action.
Yeah. So he watches the Dame Gothel and her routine, mimics her call, and so Rapunzel's hair comes out the window, I guess, and he climbs up it. They fall in love and secretly meet over time, planning to escape. However, Rapunzel, leave it to a fucking woman, dude. Leave it to a woman. Rapunzel naively reveals the prince's visits to Gothel. So she's just chirping and blabs and tattles on herself that this guy's coming over and crushing it. I mean, he's just going to Pound Town up there on Hair Lady.
Why would they be so? Why did they name her Rapunzel after the fucking thing?
Well, probably because she was swapped for a head of lettuce.
Okay, yeah. There's that. You're right. And then, obviously what you're describing, like what? Yeah. It's just like the fucking telling kids when you're getting banged by the teachers, like, dude, why would you tell the person that's kept you captive here? Oh, I'm starting to get some dick.
Stockholm syndrome. Start identifying with your captor.
True.
Yeah, but she's just blabbing to this witch lady, like, oh yeah, he's coming over, climbing my hair.
Talk to?
I know, but keep that to yourself. Like, oh my God, I'm so bored up here. There's nothing to do. There's no stairs or anything. This sucks. Why would you be like, I'm getting deep dicked by a prince, by the way? Like, why would you blab that?
She was excited.
Young and in love, Mike.
Yeah.
I guess.
Gotta sing it out.
If you think she wasn't getting deep dicked on those initial visits, you'd be wrong. She was, and I have proof further in the tale.
Oh boy!
So straight out of the text, right? I'm not doubting it, but right, straight out of the text.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, deep dick is a quote from the.
Well, I don't deep dicking, but I would imagine it probably says that they were in the religious way or something, or
No, well, I'll tell you. So she naively, like an idiot, blabs that the prince has been visiting to Gothel. So in a rage, that's why she cuts Rapunzel's hair off. And banishes her to a distant wilderness. When the prince returns, Gothel tricks him by letting down Rapunzel's severed hair. He climbs up only to face Gothel, who shoves his ass out the window, Game of Thrones style. And he lands on some bushes and blinds himself.
What was even in it for this evil witch anyway, though? Like, I don't even understand it. Some dude's coming at one point. He wants to take this Rapunzel bush or whatever leaf. And you're like, yeah, but if you take it, I'm going to take one of your kids. And then she just takes the kid, puts it in puts her in a big tower and goes, yep, that's it. Like,
that was my plan.
What's the end game? What is the point of it?
You'd have to take this up.
He is questioning kidnapping.
Yeah.
Well, he's questioning the validity. What is the purpose of kidnapping?
Well, if she was having an inappropriate relationship, that's one thing, but it doesn't seem to be said that she was. So
I don't know.
What is the witch doing? She puts her up in the tower, and the witch is just like, all right, now I'm going about my other witchery.
She climbs her hair occasionally.
Okay.
So she says, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And then
the witch would come up.
And then the witch would come up and they'd shoot the shit, talk about their day, whatever. I don't know. And then she'd rappel down the hair, I guess. I don't know.
Ever tell you that story about how your dad gave you up for a leaf of lettuce or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
your name.
Right.
Oh, do you remember the story about how I bought you for a fucking salad once? Yeah.
Now you just sit here in this tower till I guess you die.
Your dad exchanged you for a head of lettuce.
I want to know what's happening with that family afterwards too. Did we get a follow up on how the family's doing?
Well,
did they have another kid?
So he survives the fall. We'll finish the story.
Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. No, there's a lot of holes in this. Believe me, Detective Easus is all over it. You guys are both nailing this. There's so many holes in this story.
Detective Easus investigates. DEI Tuesdays.
There you
See,
go.
there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
So for years, he wanders around blindly. He can't see shit until he hears Rapunzel's voice again. Now she's living with twins.
How's he eating?
That she birthed from their time together.
Oh my goodness.
So proof, right? That you wanted proof that he was deep dicking her up in that fucking cylinder tower. That's proof.
This is right up with any soap opera I've ever seen.
To the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Immaculate Conception.
I don't think so. Her tears of joy fall into his eyes, miraculously restoring his sight. Reunited, they return to the kingdom and live happily ever after.
What does that mean?
Was he the baby daddy?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, they're his twins.
Okay.
That's
you
how I know
the father.
Yeah, he was the father. Unless there were other dudes climbing that hair.
How do we fucking know?
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, all those years, nobody else, not one other person wandered through that area.
Yeah.
I mean,
a good question.
Yeah, it could have been a lot of guys
out there
through. Yeah, could have been anybody.
From what do you know in these stories, the princes are out there just wandering, looking for women to kiss and wake up, or in a tower. That's all they do, I guess. So,
yeah. And who knows? It could have been the town blacksmith out for a stroll in the woods and came upon Rapunzel's hair. And
there was another one of these ones, by the way. I don't know if it was, I don't remember which one it was, but there was another one of these where essentially the thing was happening where like a king had gone out for some hunt or something, and he found like a girl. Dude, it almost sounds like this one, but it must be a different one. But he found some girl in a house that was unconscious. It might be Sleeping Beauty, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the real Sleeping Beauty, not the one that was like the Disney version or whatever. And now that whatever this newer one was, but like
a real life version, you mean?
Well, no, like the original darker story from back in the day, where he was just going and like constantly sleeping with her unconscious. Like he just found a girl in a house.
Yeah, I think that was Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. Yeah. He just was. Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, in the cartoon, though, he just kisses her. You're saying he was like banging her?
Well, that's just like the prince comes and finally finds her, because in the Sleeping Beauty it was like there was a witch. She found out that some girl was fairer than her or something in the land.
Yeah.
So she tries to gets her a poison apple. She eats it. She dies.
That's Snow White.
Okay. That's Snow White. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. That's Snow White. Okay. Yeah. I think Sleeping Beauty, that was like the real, like if you look into like what the original story was, it was like some king going out for a hunt or something. He found this house, a girl's just sleeping, starts hooking up with her, and then just keeps coming back and just keeps coming back, and he impregnates her at some point.
Yeah.
And then like it's his kid, and I'll have to look into it, I guess. But
yeah, look into it, E. Let us know.
The problem for Disney when they're looking at this story, there's a few problems. If you look at Rapunzel is a beautiful girl. I mean, that's how it starts right there. Like, beautiful how?
Right.
What do you mean? Because she's white with blonde hair? Is that what makes her beautiful? So let's go the opposite of that for progress. That's kind of what they've been doing. Can we get a Latinx with alopecia?
Yeah, I feel like that's why they're shelving it, putting it on the shelf. I think they had a bad cast.
Yeah, but they never announced a cast. And then there were rumors online of a girl for the role, and I was like, okay, let's see what this black trans person looks like. And I Googled it, and it was just like, no, a cute blonde girl. So I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, but that was just rumors. They hadn't announced anything.
Stupid
I figured
rumor.
Obviously it was going to be a handicapped trans black person with alopecia, but no. The prince, when you're sitting in the writer's room and it's like, oh, the prince. Well, what is that? Sounds super privileged and super Caucasian, by the way. There's not a ton of black princes out there.
That's racist.
So, and kind of stalkery too, for being honest.
A lot of white princes though. I feel like most princes are like
Arabian.
Saudi.
Yeah. But not in our fairy tales. Our fairy tale ones are they're like our gods, very white, you know, more palatable to an American audience, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot of, princes that I'd run into.
You can only think of a couple white princes.
Yeah, and they suck
Yeah.
horribly. They're goofy
they
looking and they're annoying.
Inbred.
Yeah. Or they're just like Prince's. I don't think there's been any that I liked.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
like was it JFK Jr.? John F. Kennedy was the closest thing we've got to Prince royalty. I mean, he flew his plane into a ditch or something, but there was that. But I think of like Saddam Hussein's Prince boys, Uday and Qusay.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would feed people to the dogs and stuff. They were like,
or you just hear about like rich as fuck Saudi princes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it was so long ago, Mike, but remember we did that story that one time about the guy, like he didn't even know how to use a phone because he never had to or something.
Yeah.
You remember that? Like, yeah. So shit like that.
No, you want to do like nice bedtime stories to your toddler. Read them about Uday and Qusay. Read them stories about that prince. Like those old. You want to keep your kid in line. That'll do it. Because those two are. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just real quickly. Yeah, it was Sleeping Beauty, and the deal is, some princess, she pricks her finger, poisonous, something. They place her in one of her father's estates, and then it says a king who happens across the estate wanders in and finds the princess sleeping body, fails to awaken her, and then proceeds to rape her. And if that's not bad enough, the princess later gives birth to two twins while unconscious. One of them, who sucks the splinter from her finger, wakes her up. The prince ends up marrying the king, who burns his first wife alive so they can be together, but not before his wife tries to kill and sever the baby twins for the king to eat. Like that was like the original.
Wait, is that the Disney version or is that like the original?
No, that's the original version.
Is that Brothers Grimm as well?
I think so.
It probably must be, but
Walt Disney's fucking warped ass heard that and was like, I can do something with that.
Yeah.
I can.
I'm seeing a movie.
Yep.
There's going
to be merchandising with this.
Yeah, this can be made for kids. Exactly.
I'm smelling money.
One day, kids will go to Disneyland and pay extra money to go to the castle and have dinner with Sleeping Beauty. That's Cinderella, I guess.
You're getting all your princesses mixed up.
My family had us do that. We went to Disneyland and we somehow they either paid or we got it lucky, and we did the thing where we went to the castle and had like dinner with Cinderella.
You gotta do that when you're there.
Really? How old were you, E?
God, must have been like 7.
Yeah,
in that range.
God, what an awkward dinner. Some princess talking all magically and stuff at dinner with you.
Well, you think about it now.
So weird.
If you're a kid, and I know, Mike, you do have the nieces now and you go through too, like if you're a kid, like Kaylee's at this stage, she's only 2 and she can 100% suspend reality and you can have her talking, but like if you're an adult thinking about what's happening there's like a 20-year-old girl, that's just kind of college kid trying to fucking whatever. And she's like playing princess and she's going around her tables and with her wand. And
it's so funny. G used to tell me this story about when he was a little kid and he remembered snapping out of that phase of childhood. He vividly remembers like in our house in Livonia playing with like toy cars. Like, I don't know if they were wooden or Matchbox or something. Right. And like driving and then he was just like stopped in
what am I doing
was
here?
Like, what the fuck am I doing? And was just like, no, that shit was done in that moment.
That's crazy.
But it's funny. I started driving Marshall to school. He's very, very sick right now. He's got a fever and everything, which is great. So I haven't had to drive him yesterday or today, but I've been driving him every morning. I set my alarm and I get up. Yeah. And the first 4 months of this school year, or the first couple months really, I would set up my camera and I would record our conversations.
Yeah.
So it's like a 15-minute drive, 18-minute drive to school. And whatever dumb shit would come out of this kid's mouth, I would just egg it on. I'm like the worst parent. And it's not like, well, that's not how you should behave, Marshall. I didn't play that guy. I was just like, totally, you were wrong. Yeah, tell me more. This guy sounds like a real asshole. And I would just play it up and I'd get these hilarious 10-minute long videos, blah, 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 where I'm just talking right over this fucker's head. He has no idea that every word coming out of my mouth is just making fun of him and egging this along. That went on for like 2 months at 8 years old, 9 years old, whatever the hell he is. And now he sees right through all of it. Like literally in the same school year.
Right.
like on a Friday, I could do this, and on Monday I can't.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
some switch flipped and it changed. Like, it's wild to see in real time.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I don't remember. I remember what you described. I remember being a kid and doing the things. And then I remember at some point I wasn't necessarily pretending that this car was real or something.
Yeah.
But to remember a moment that it happened for your brother,
I remember the Santa thing very vividly. Like, I remember looking at the gift and going, that's my mom's handwriting. Why did my mom write on the Santa gift?
Yeah.
And it just clicked. I was like, oh my God.
This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
Did the bunny
crazy.
go the same way? Did it immediately go, oh, that means the bunny's bullshit, and so is the tooth fairy?
It took a minute for me to realize that, like, once that holiday rolled around, I was like, oh, I bet this is bullshit too. Like, it didn't necessarily click at the time, like that everything was bullshit. But as the things continued to happen, I was like, oh yeah, this is probably bullshit too.
I don't ever have any, it's funny. I don't have any knowledge of like when I thought Easter Bunny wasn't a thing. Like, I don't even think about that as a thing. At some point, it wasn't.
Yeah, but you were probably in your late teens by then.
We just broke the news to him just now.
He's like, what? Hold on. What are you saying about the tooth fairy? Mom.
No,
Mom, we have to talk.
I found my presents one year, and I remember, it's funny. I remember not liking it afterwards.
Yeah.
That.
Me too.
I found them, thought it was awesome, and then Christmas Day, I like hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even
I remember being devastated too. Like, I've talked about it before, but being like, because I found out probably, what age do kids find out usually? Is it like 8 years old?
7, 8,
9,
I would say,
somewhere
9.
in there.
Yeah.
Was your brother older than you or younger?
No, he's a year and 9 months younger.
It's because it's weird.
I'm the oldest.
Because like in our family, Lauren was significantly 3 years younger than us or whatever. And so like I remember trying to pretend he was still real.
Play along,
my sister and I will talk about like dude, it was almost annoying because like I was like, no, I know it's not. And I was like, no, it's Santa.
I apparently had this gene, like, hey, let's talk about stuff, early. And so I found out at like 7 years old. And by the end of the day, my 2-year-old sister knew. And like fucked up. Like, parents were calling my mom, coming over to the house, like, thanks, your kid fucking ruined Santa for my 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Thanks. Like, I was that kid, like, couldn't keep a secret. I had to let everyone know, like, hey, I just wanted you to know, this is all bullshit.
How does the internet not ruin it? Like, my niece has an iPad. How does she not grab it and figure it out? I don't know.
Well, they don't want to know, for one. I know this happened a couple years ago. So Marshall would have been 7 maybe. And he was driving with G, and he was like, D, I got to ask you a question. And he's like, all right, what's up, dude? And, you can ask D anything. And he's like, is Santa Claus real? And so there was obviously some discussion at school about this. This was big news.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And G goes, well, do you really want to know? Do you want me to tell you the truth? And just know that it doesn't affect anything either way. So, but if you want Day to tell you the truth, Day will tell you. And Marshall sat there and thought about it and was like, nope, I don't want to know. He was like, fair enough. And so we went another year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went another year without, but I feel like if you're putting that together, you've put it together. Now you just don't want to know the facts.
Will be interesting. And I don't know what Amy, how your experience with these are, but with me doing the uncle thing now, I don't really I know she's really young. I get it. But like, I don't like, I'm kind of trying not to like per se lie. And like, for example, one time we were going out to the mall. It was my parents, me and her, and we didn't have her. She always brings her big blankie and her little blankie, right? Or whatever. And we didn't have one of them. I'd forgotten one of them. And I remember I legit thought about like, I could just say something, right? I could just say anything I want. And I was like,
wait, she forgot what?
We didn't have one of her blankies. You have her little blankie and her big blankie. And she tucks her feet in them and yada, yada.
God, those are important. Binkies.
Yeah.
Huge.
Gotta have my little blankie and my big blankie.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I just sat there and like, I could have said something and I just said, you know what? Even though I know she doesn't understand, I was like, I forgot it. Uncle E forgot it. I'm sorry. But it's at home and it's, then I was like this, pink bears watching it or whatever. And she was fine with that.
Yeah.
And then she was fine with it. And then I know I'm, my only experience doing this, but like, it'll be interesting when she gets there. Cause my sister kind of does the same thing. They don't, don't get me wrong. Every parent's going to at moments, say what you have to say or this or that, but mostly she likes to be pretty truthful. And I think that they'll just be like, yeah, that's the deal. We do it for a little bit, but really it's your mom and me.
Yeah.
Dad and me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always like Jay's answer where he's like, no, I've never told him, like, fuck that guy. I work my ass off all year. I'm getting the credit.
I agree with that.
I heard from listeners that were like, it dawned on them that moment. They were like, yeah, fuck that guy in this suit.
Yeah.
No. We're not playing.
I mean, I like, there's most of my friends, the way, they give one or two from Santa and then the big gifts come from mom and dad. Whereas like when I was growing up, all
Santa?
the gifts came from
Santa.
Santa. My mom didn't get me anything.
Right.
Well, she did, but
it'd be like one present from your mom, maybe in the stocking or something.
Stocking.
Yeah, totally.
See,
totally.
I think we got to the point where stocking was Santa. Like, oh yeah, I'll check your, like, it was like, no, this dude's not getting credit for shit.
Yeah.
He can have the bullshit candy in the stocking and, that kind of stuff. But real stuff we got.
Right.
I think that's how that went. But I still get stuff. My mom will still put Santa on some stuff,
Yeah.
Which is
I
nice.
mean, if you think about it, I think that there's definitely a time when if you like Christmas, we tend to really like Christmas. And so like, there's nothing wrong with at some point saying like, obviously it's not real, but still the Santa's around and shit like that. Like,
the elf on the shelf makes it fun too for kids. That's
I don't get it.
Thing. That's a good tool for parents for a month to keep their kids in line. Like the elf is watching.
Yeah. Is that what that's about?
Together. Yeah. Because the elf flies back to the North Pole every night to report back to Santa on kids' behavior. Then they come back overnight and they're in a different place in the house.
Gotcha. Okay. I knew the different place in the house. I didn't know the connection with the North Pole. I didn't know that he was going back to the pole and tattling.
Report it. Yeah. Tattling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tattling on your behavior.
Well, only if you're doing bad stuff though, Mike. Not tattling if you're doing good stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. What if I had a day where I broke a couple things, but I also did really good things? Like
you let him know Santa's going to find out
3
about
good
that.
things, 1 bad thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bad things you're allowed in the month before the presents start taking effect.
Yeah.
So you start getting coal.
Right. I don't know what the ratio is, but
yeah, I want to say I have some vague memory of my sister letting me hide the elf one night. And I think I had it mount the deer on the mantle.
I don't believe I was ever
people go all out on those.
A great kid, frankly, and yet I kept getting presents.
Yeah. The whole thing was bullshit. The whole thing really was bullshit.
Although I will say the stupid things there are when you're a kid, when you talk about your brother still pretending, I do remember very specifically one year, me and my brother were sharing a room at that point. We had like bunk beds or something. And that night, if you'd asked me, I 100% heard noises on the roof and knew that they were reindeer.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like I heard them in my mind.
100%.
And I
really
100% remember thinking I heard them. Yes.
I remember that too.
I guarantee there's parents that go all out and do that, make noise on the roof and
deer
my
print
dad,
in the snow or
yeah. In our old house, we didn't have a fireplace, so like, oh, is house Santa go through? We don't have a fireplace, and my dad would put like a little beard in the door, little white bearding in the door, and be like, oh, he got caught in the door on his way out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Santa's just fucking breaking into everybody's house.
Yeah.
What a concept. And he never does anything wrong. He never goes into any panty drawers.
Never.
No, never.
Never gets a wank off in or something.
My thought on the holidays, all of them, whether it's Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of those now are so, like, what's cool about those is the feeling we all get around that time. You know, like whether it's Thanksgiving, the Lions game, and food cooking in the other room, and kind of the fall colors, like all of that stuff. Christmas, same way, like, oh, maybe your brother's coming to town, or you're going to see all the family together. And, for us, it was kind of, my mom and sister were cooking like crazy in the other room, and it was dips and this. Like, it's setting the table, I think, for these kids, because it seems like a waste. So much of this seems like over the top garbage shit. And then it's like, no, you want to pass down. And these kids, when they get older, it's like, this is the way you're supposed to do it.
Right.
Like, you do take the time to set this stuff up and put this, and it's perfect family time and the movies and the snacks and like all of it. If you can swing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's something that I like, even at my old ass age now, I think back and it's like, I totally remember those times in my life as a kid,
Yeah. This was
the right way to do it.
I won't go any more into it because I got to stop myself. But I'll say, like, this was my favorite Christmas since I was maybe like literally 6 or 7 this year. Because Kaylee was a little older enough, and we're doing that now. She came over for the night. They stayed Christmas Eve night, and we watched freaking Grinch, the newer version on Peacock, and
newer version, like
Jim Carrey maybe or
Jim
something.
Carrey,
yeah.
Cartoon holds up too.
Dude, it was great. But anyway, I won't go more into it. But like what you're describing to me, I probably went years where I didn't really. I mean, I'm fine, family fine, whatever. But And this year was probably my favorite Christmas, like I said, since I was like 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Kids definitely make it more fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It gives you a reason to be goofy about it. Because if you don't have that little kid there, now you're just like me and my sister. We're all grown up adults, and we're just kind of like, we're opening presents tomorrow, I guess, or something.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't know how we talked about Christmas for 25 minutes. In fucking April.
I apologize. Probably me.
Well, no, it's not your fault, Isis. I love it, but we somehow got there from the Disney movies.
Yeah, we're talking about just the fairy tales. Like whether they were real, and then yada yada. Well,
they're in a real spot because I think the fact is, if you just went, okay, obviously we can't have, the Rapunzel story involve like super dark aspects, but we can do the Disney version where it's just like, the hero prince saves her, they live happily ever after, and you have this dark storyline about, the mom gave up the kid or the dad gave up the kid.
Yeah, what happened to that family, by the way? I know we talked about it, but seriously.
But you can do that and go like, who is the most perfect Disney actress today that all the kids go gaga over? Who fits that role? Who would be the prince, that would fit that stereotypical role for what these things are? And if you just did it along those storylines and then made the Dame Gothel or whatever creepy in a way that scares little kids a little bit, like you could totally still do it. And with the way AI and technology and CGI with the forest and the setting, like you could make a dope storyline with Disney's live action team. But I guarantee they're having meetings like, no, how do we stuff Latinx in here?
Yeah.
How do we represent the disabled? How do we get the trans community to feel welcome? It's like at some point they've got to break through that and go, no. We want the days when our movies generated $1.2 billion. When they came out, they were an automatic. You look at, Alice in Wonderland made $1 billion in 2010. 101 Dalmatians, $320 million. Jungle Book did okay. Beauty and the Beast made $1.2 billion for them.
That's about bestiality, for crying out loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
In reality.
People bitch about them, but it's like you see this list of like, what are you doing with these things? Like you've been given the blueprint to print money. Just don't fuck that up. And Snow White, like you should never bomb Snow White. Like that's to me, just a gimme.
The thing on that would be is you have to where to me the problem is if that they're not pulling through on this other one, they're pulling the other one, because if they wanted to say at least, hey, we just believe in this, and if it doesn't make the money, it doesn't make it, we're going to bite that, then you just plow forward. And you would disagree, but I'm saying, but whatever. But if you're doing it, it bombs, and then now you're pulling a new movie probably for obvious reasons, like you guys say that it bombed. Now you're being disingenuous. If they kept going and just said, hey, we get it. These aren't going to make what they did, but we believe in it, and that's what we believe.
Yeah,
what I'm saying, though? That'd be at least a little better.
I do, but you do have a board that you need. At the end of the day, you do need to make money for your investors, your board.
But I'm saying, but if everyone was on board, no pun intended, but if everyone was on board with like, we have a message and we don't care what happens. Then obviously that's not what the case is, but
yeah,
I'm just saying it'd be more respectable if it was that way to me. If it was like, well, we get it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you want to continue what people long before you established and laid out for your success, you have to treat that with the respect it deserves. You can't, do kind of what they've done. I don't think it goes well.
I mean, think about it, but it all depends. Again, they're not, for me, the point I'm making, they're not doing anyway. But I'm talking about, what if you're talking about a band, for example, going up and they maybe just know we're never going to be stadium tour band, but we like our sound and we're going to be fine with not making as much money, but we're writing songs we like or whatever. That'd be like another example of that.
But the investment wouldn't stand. The investment behind that band, you'd be like, yeah, you're welcome to do that. Go out on your own and you can play every shithole in the country.
Yeah.
You stand on principle. Do that. But you're not going to get, the record company and promotion team and coverage.
You had that attitude yourself, though, in reality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But I never had anybody backing anything.
I mean, he doesn't have the backing of Disney.
No, I know.
Right.
I know. But I mean, but that's been your mindset, kind of. You know what I mean?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it, especially in the early days.
And like I said, to be fair, by them polling, for example, this movie, I'm not saying that's what they're thinking. I'm saying if they did that, at least then I could be like, well, they're standing by and they're just saying, fuck it, we're not going to make money, but we're doing it. That's what we believe. Yeah, that's not what they're doing anyway.
I wonder if there's an exit ramp where you can go, you know what, we don't care if 20 employees are going to bitch on Twitter about it, or we're not going to care if 200, people start waving flags outside the building. That's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
We used to talk about it all the time where Jay would get mad at me because I'd get so mad when Nike would release a statement going, because some dipshit somewhere tweeted something and the company now feels the need to come out. Here at Adidas, we believe all people deserve equal. It's like, shut the fuck up. We all know. We all know Adidas. You don't believe what some guy tweeted, like, wow, was Hitler really that bad? Like, we understand.
Wearing
Nike,
a pair of Adidas.
He's not speaking for Nike in that tweet. Relax. You don't need to send a press release out and give this the attention. And, Jay would get mad at me for that, but I think that's kind of what you're seeing with so much of this stuff.
For sure.
I think Spotify did it right when everybody was like, oh, Joe Rogan's having Alex Jones on. And they went ape shit. People threatened to quit. They were like, yeah, good. Quit then. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You don't get to make executive decisions about content on the air because you are troubled by something. Sorry, not how it works. And what happened? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing. That probably saved themselves from that. And I feel like Disney needs to get to one of those too, where you just plow through. You don't worry about some bullshit. Well, what does the Latinx community think? What does the trans community think? Like, no. Just make great content. You'll be just fine. There's a story today. I think it all kind of ties together. A disabled UK passenger had his self-respect shattered after he was booted from an EasyJet flight before takeoff because he couldn't walk to the bathroom. I've always been a happy-go-lucky chap, but this has knocked me back a bit. Barry Dobner told the Liverpool Echo. He's been wheelchair-bound since suffering from a stroke 18 years ago, but hasn't let his physical limitations stop him from traveling and has reportedly flown 6 times. Yeah, he's flown 6 times. I don't know if Aaron put this story in there. Oh, yeah, there he is. So you can see who I'm talking about. There he is. There's my man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had a stroke 18 years ago.
Oh, my God.
That seems like a... so there he is.
Yeah.
So he had planned to fly from Manchester to Athens, Greece on April 3rd so he could celebrate his 80th birthday.
Damn, dude, 80? Yeah. For considering the situation, he actually looks okay.
Yeah,
Dude.
not bad, right?
Like
I
for
mean-
real.
I
No,
mean,
but if you
from
just looked at that person, would you think he's 80?
No. Here's the thing. If you would have said 54-year-old Barry, whatever, I'd be like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
54. Sure.
Yeah.
I guess that
Sure.
stroke, though, the thing is, the stroke was probably bad and he wheelchair bound, but maybe.
Think about how good he would have looked if he didn't have the stroke.
Well, I was thinking maybe the stress
Great
of not having
point.
to work all those 18 years maybe helped, actually. Maybe he doesn't, he just got to sit at home watching TV and shit. So,
Well, someone's been bringing him a lot of food for 18 years.
well, you can't be as active as he started burning calories when you're just wheeling around in a chair. Especially, I don't know if he's doing it. What is it? Fucking that guy. Does he? I mean, he have to actually push himself, or is he just
That guy's not pushing himself. He's probably got a zzz, as you said. Yeah. I don't know. He looks like he's got a lot of remotes in front of him there. He's got all kinds of activities in front of him to watch.
Like I said, whatever he's doing, dude, I agree. To me, if
How
you
long
said
was
that
the
50-year-old
flight?
dude.
I don't know. How long is Manchester in Europe to Athens, Greece?
Can't be that
don't
far.
know.
Nothing in Europe's that far away.
So the group arranged wheelchair-friendly transportation in Greece while
Almost
Barry
4 hours.
Oh, dang.
4-hour flight. Okay. So they arranged transportation in Greece while Barry claims he informed EasyJet that he was a wheelchair user when they booked their flight. Despite their precautions, their trip was over before it began. The problems began shortly after boarding when a crew member overheard Barry talking about keeping a portable urinal in his carry-on luggage. A stewardess walked by and she was like, "Excuse me, do you have a urinal bottle?" My wife said yes in case of emergencies. She was like, "Hold on a minute." She came back and said, "Can your husband make it to the shitter? Can he walk his ass to the shitter?" Allison replied that he could not. She said, "All right, off the plane, dude. Hot Wheels."
Not everyone has to go to the bathroom in a 4-hour flight.
My wife asked why, and they said, because he can't walk to the toilet. The whole group was ejected from the aircraft, after which they had to get picked up from the airport by a friend and then drive home. The whole plane was standing up watching what was going on. You can imagine how that made me feel. They knew I couldn't walk when they put me on the plane. This incident made him feel like an object. I'm not a person anymore. My self-respect has gone right down. To treat a disabled person like this was appalling, especially when they had all the information beforehand. It's just ludicrous. The other passengers were sitting there gobsmacked. I love these guys.
Gotta love
Gobsmacked.
the gobsmacked.
Well, I mean, you would be pissed. Dude, if it
yeah.
was you would be pissed. If you'd called
yeah,
out, if you literally had made, like, dude, this is a deal, man. I'm a bigger dude. I got a wheelchair. Is this going to be cool? I mean, you would be rather pissed, I would say.
Okay, so when they say, especially when they had all the information beforehand, yeah, they had all the information that you gave them, which didn't include you got a toilet in your bag.
But
that you might take.
I mean,
well,
like,
what's the thing then? Should he not be able to fly? I mean, if he called them and said, "Here's the deal, I'm handicapped,"
people with like colostomy bags can't fly.
No, because then it just empties into the colostomy bag. It's gross, but it is what it is. You just pull your shirt over it. Nothing to see here.
So his is that he would have had to like whip his dick out in the aisle.
Yeah.
I would say generally, honestly, like I know you feel like I'm sure you're. The take on this would be like, to me, I wish we could really see it. Obviously, his side's going to be warped and their side's going to be warped. But like, it for me, it all comes down to how it actually was handled on the flight, like how she actually talked to him, how it was, and like, did he have to go home? Why wouldn't you stay in the airport and like talk to the gate and be like, dude, I told you guys, and like that you know what I mean?
Yeah, you said your fat ass was in a chair. You didn't say you were carrying your own toilet on board, sir.
There's where we got rid of the portable toilet bag, that they would have let him stay on the flight.
Maybe.
I mean, it just seems to me like he can't be the first fat person in a wheelchair that has gotten on one of their flights.
Well,
or an old person.
So they've apologized to Mr. Dobner, and their companions were unable to fly as planned with EasyJet. We are in touch with Mr. Dobner and his party to apologize for this error and to refund them in full and provide them with denied boarding compensation. I don't know what that would be. Is that like $50 in drink tickets?
Right.
Probably.
The night
I don't know
boarding compensation. Well, and another flight, I mean, or what? Like that on top of a flight? Or
Well, it sounds like they're going to get reimbursed.
They added it that they carry around EasyJet's like, listen, man, we carry 1 million passengers requiring some form of assistance each year, and 87% of EasyJet passengers who require that are satisfied. So I'd like to hear from those 13% personally, but he would be in the 13%.
Yeah, he would.
EasyJet keeps an onboard wheelchair, noting that passengers must be able to transfer themselves into it or with the aid of a companion. So
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I get that.
So in EasyJet's defense, like, no, dude, you can't whip your dick out and piss into a fucking plastic toilet in the middle of the plane. That you can't do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get that.
The fact that he thought, yeah, I'm just going to bring my own toilet on. Well, yeah, I'd like to bring my own toilet on too, and just whip my dick out and take a whiz in row 16.
Yeah,
but they're not cool with that. He doesn't look like he can easily make it to a bathroom, and it looks like it'd be an awful lot of work to help him get there.
Statement though, they talk about that stuff. Then why don't because you have a person saying that he told them this. What if he told them that
I'm in a wheelchair?
Well,
that I'm in a wheelchair. Lots of people are in wheelchairs. It means you get to board first. They treat you like a celebrity.
No, I get that.
Like it's cool if you're in a wheelchair. Like that's how.
If that's all he said. That's what I guess I would need to know. If he didn't let him in on this info, then that's something. That's a little different.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you guys both seem like to think like, I don't know. Part of me goes, we can't accommodate everyone all the time. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know what to do. But if this guy was so comfortable, like, yeah, I'm just going to bring my toilet on. And if I got a shit, so be it. That's what my seat's for. And that guy looks like he's got a shit quite often.
I mean,
I don't know for sure.
What happens with dogs? Right?
Well,
like their dogs get on flights.
Yeah.
And sit in there. What do they do?
Yeah,
I just feel like making him get off and everybody he's with, and now he's not on his 80th birthday trip. Like, I don't know. Couldn't they have maybe found a workaround?
Well, listen, I'd like to know how it happened on the plane. Like how for me, a lot of it would.
I told you. Because the wait staff, the fly waitress was standing there and heard him bragging about his portable toilet pisser. And she was like, wait a minute. This is an open tube with hundreds of people on it. You can't whip your dick out and take a whiz. Did you bring your own toilet? And he was like, well, of course. And she's like,
wow,
you're out of here.
Kind of like, I want to know how it really went down. I guess that's what I know we can't know this, but for me, a lot of it does come to how she really reacted, how she treated him, how she handled the situation, I guess I would say. He still is a person. It's not like he's, I don't know, man. I don't know. You never know. We'll never know. The reality is when stuff like this, one side will say one thing, one side will say the other, unless you get somebody on that plane saying, no, dude, this guy was being a fucking like arrogant about it, or he was yelling at them. I don't know. Like, I can piss whenever I want. What are you going to do about it?
Yep.
You got to walk back there, loser.
I brought a toilet. I'm good.
Yeah. If he was telling people, if he was on the plane telling people like, it must suck. You guys got to get up and walk. I just get to go right here because I'm special or something.
No, it's kind of like this idea that we can accommodate everyone always for everything. When it's like it's hard enough being in a wheelchair and blah blah. It's like, yeah, well, what does that mean? It's hard enough. What do you mean? It means that there are certain things you just can't fucking do. There's certain things. And one of those things might be flying if you can't make it to the bathroom without bringing your own toilet on.
But he has flown before. So I wonder what happened there. Why was it okay then?
I don't know. Maybe he snuck it in. I'm not saying he can't break the rules.
Yeah,
maybe he was just blowing it out in the back of the plane, and there's nothing you could do at that point because he's already we're midair.
And that could be it. The reality is he could have had a times in the past where just no one knew and he just had it and it's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he did fly before, so I wonder.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened on those flights.
Dropping Sky Waitress.
Yeah. What do you think, Ames? Do you think they fucked up by? I mean, they're going to reimburse him. He's going to make a tip on top of it. So
yeah, I don't think you can do that to him. I mean, I don't know the rules in the UK, but I think in the United States he'd be protected. It's like a protected class. I don't think you can kick handicapped people off of a plane.
Or at least, I don't know, at least, hey, we need to work to settle this out. Let's get off this flight. We'll work with something here, but we weren't really aware of this.
Yeah. Now, if they said you have to get rid of your portable toilet, and he caused like this big commotion, and he's like, I'm gonna, it's not like I have a bomb in here. And they were like, sir, you can't say bomb on an airplane, and then took him off.
By the way, I mean, let's be honest. We've all been in the bathrooms, the turlets, if you will, in an airplane. I mean, do you think that guy's even fitting in a bathroom toilet in an airplane?
No.
I mean, dude, those things are ridiculous.
I mean, dude, I don't know how half the people fit in them. Like he
was just going to ask you how you fit in them.
That's not
he
what I
was.
was doing.
Yes, he was.
No, it was not.
Dude, he was just going to say, Mike, I don't even know how you fit in them.
No, it was not.
It's true.
You caught me in a Joe Biden moment there, I guess. Look at fat so.
Freudian slip.
Come on, fat.
No, I wasn't doing that on Mike. I just mean the general American public. I would say would have an issue in a lot of the bathroom toilets. I mean, it's not comfortable for me being 6'2", even being tall.
I don't know how people 6'2" and taller do it with leg room in a plane, but it is what it is.
That's why I get aisle seats a lot of times.
Suck. Like, honest to God, dude, when I look at my brother 6'3", it's like, dude, there's no way. There's no fucking way. It's like, I don't care if you got to save up money for the year. You have to fly first class. There's no way you can sit and coach.
Well, I get the aisle, and if I get the aisle, I can put my one foot out, and that helps a ton, to be honest with you. It helps.
Yeah, I agree. I'm an aisle guy too.
So
for me, definitely for that reason.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well,
have you ever had to have you been in a situation before where you were like and I don't mean like go and pee, like you had to freaking go in a bathroom toilet or an airplane toilet?
Go
no,
what?
Go
taking a whiz?
2. Yeah, take a shit. No, take a shit. Like
probably.
I think I have. Yeah. I mean, you might not be asking me, but yeah.
No one's asking you. Those
no one
won't even work.
No, girl, that you don't have.
You guys don't even have those. Those are in operation. That's just a secondary hole that we spend our lifetime trying to get in. That's all that is for.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have any major one that came to my mind, but I just wondered if you'd ever been in a situation.
Why have you? It sounds like you have.
No, I really haven't. I have done a number 2 on a plane before. I didn't love it, but I've done it. But
yeah,
make sure I get it in before or after. But
oh yeah, no, I will. If I have to spend 3 hours out in the airport, make sure everything's out of me before I get in that damn plane. Yeah, that's a horror show. That's the last thing I'd want to do. I probably have not gotten to the point where I had to on a plane.
I did have one time where we were, you get on the freaking runway and now you're sitting there and then you're sitting there and you're sitting there like, oh, we're taking off soon. And we sat on the runway for I was flying from Philly to Detroit, which is like about an hour and a half. And we were on the runway for more than that flight. And at one point I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom, like just take a pee. I asked the person there, I'm like, can I go? And you can't go. We're not in the air yet. We can't. I'm like, and I pulled her back like a few.
Did you shit your pants?
Dude, I waved her down like 10 minutes later. I'm like, look at man, I have to go to the bathroom. And you think about it, I should have been in the air by then. Like it shouldn't have been. It wasn't like my fault in reality. Like I not only should have been in the air, I probably should have been landed already.
Well, but like. We know when you're not opposed to going in the neighbor's bush, taking a shit. You're not opposed to hotel lobbies.
Right.
Like, I mean, you are a special individual, Isis. So
I get it. But
did you end up going in that?
Dude,
she came. Yeah. She ended up coming up to me.
Gross.
And said, you can go. Just. She went back and talked to us and like, just go real quick.
Yeah, they'd much rather have you stand up while you're stationary sitting on the runway than, they've got to turn the plane around because you shit in the.
Well, I'm and the thing is, like, in my defense in this situation, like I said, we were an hour and a half out of like, dude,
that would just send me right.
That was enough.
I wouldn't have even. You know what? I wouldn't have even asked at that point. I would have stood up and I would have gone to the bathroom. And all of you.
I think I did.
You know what? You know what I've learned? What I've learned is you can ignore their shit when they're like, seatbelts must be fastened at all times. Like when they're like, we're going to need everyone to remain in their seats. I've absolutely got up at that moment and like, nope, I got to piss. I'm out. And then ghosted them. It's like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like it's for your consideration at this point in my world. It's for your consideration. If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I've thought about this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Amy, have you brought it up on this show about your connection to the plane that like flipped over? You had a work friend that was on that plane.
I think we talked about it. Yeah.
The one with the female pilots.
Yeah, the one that ended. A coworker of mine was on that plane. I think we talked about it.
Canada that flipped over.
Vaguely
refresh my memory.
A coworker of mine was on the flight that flipped over on that runway, and she, they got like 30 grand. And she said, had she not been upgraded to first class and she was in her original seat, she would have been covered in jet fuel.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So the plane like landed, Mike, and like the landing gear like fucked up.
Yeah.
And then a gust of wind caught it and it was literally upside down on the runway. Yeah.
It was it was the one with the
bats in a cave.
Yeah. The one with the female pilots. There's not much reporting about it.
It's pretty remarkable that nobody died.
I know. Thank God we had two female pilots on there that were running that flight. I mean, it's never happened before where a plane has got a little windy and then flipped over on its belly. But you know, those chicks nailed it. They don't talk much about that, but the heroes. No one died. Thank God we had those female.
Regular Sully situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sully. At least they didn't land. At least these ladies didn't land in the water. I mean, they landed on their head, but
I've thought about it, Amy, since then, and it's like it's so dumb because it really doesn't make a difference. But I'm like, for me, like the minute the wheels like touch the ground, I fucking pull off my seatbelt.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And there's no reason why. The seatbelt isn't even that tight. It isn't.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the rebellious nature that we both have. He's just like, you won't tell me what to do. They're like,
it's on the ground.
Seatbelts must remain fastened until we get to the gate. It's like, fuck you. I'm the first one to pop them. First guy.
And I thought about that when it came to like this situation. Like, how now maybe it would happen so fast I wouldn't have been doing it yet or something. But like it'll make me think going forward to at least give it a little bit.
100%. Like wait until we're at least kind of like, that initial jerk when you land and you're like, at least once that's over, I think it's safe to take the seatbelt.
No, once we're wheels on the ground and it gets loud as they throw it in reverse or whatever they do to slow it down. Once we get into slow down mode, I'm like, all right, they got this. And then I take my seatbelts off. Well, if I knew I was flying on a plane with two female pilots, I probably would have kept it on a little longer than usual. But
you wouldn't have even got on the plane.
No, I'd
have been walking in and you look into the cockpit a little bit, like two females. I'm out.
I would have walked on. No shit, I would have walked on and went, nope, and just about face. Like
you see them filming it. You see them filming a TikTok, and you're like, I am out of here.
Yeah, I chuckle with it. Like there's always some flamboyant, like borderline trans gay, usually a black guy with his nails done, and I just chuckle at him and walk by. But if there were like two captain's chicks standing there, I'd just be nope. Not going on your test flight.
I got the next.
Call me whatever you want.
Yeah, you're like, actually, I have a portable toilet with me, so I'm gonna leave this plane.
There you
call
go.
Back.
No, the portable toilet thing, like, I get it. I know firsthand. I was a little heavier, but when I went to Great America, I think it's called in California amusement park, and went in on the swing. The swing thing, and got in, buckled in. It was like, oh, this is kind of hard to get this buckle on, but it was like clicks into place, and then right before they started, they're like, with the fat fuck in the purple seat, please exit. You are way too fucking fat to be on this thing. Like they said something along those lines, and it was like, hey, fatso, get up. Oh wait, I'm in the purple seat, and it was like. They called me out and they were like, dude, you're way. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. They were like
Oh, dang,
way
I'm sorry
too
about
fucking fat to be on this ride. This could be a catastrophe. And they called it out in front of the whole thing. They had to stop it, before they sent it. The music's playing. They're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. And it was like, I had to get out and like unbuckle and then walk to the booth because I had to give him my sunglasses because you couldn't wear sunglasses on the thing. And I had to slowly walk over there and collect my belongings. Yeah, it was a total walk of shame. Luckily, there was another guy.
How we feel.
Yeah, there was another guy on there he was sort of fat too, but he was taller. And they were like, yeah, you're bored. You get the fuck off too. And so both of us had to, so it wasn't a solo walk of shame. So I get it. But it's like, am I going to go file a complaint? They embarrassed me. They didn't need to call me out. Like they should have told me in line.
Right.
Like, sir, like,
did you guys powwow
no,
up with each other?
I was like,
class action lawsuit.
No, it just ruined, the next hour. It was like, oh, you are such a piece of shit. The amusement park won't let you on a ride. Fuck. You really have to start making some life choices that are different. These are the.
You don't look like you would get kicked off a ride right now, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
it's spelt now.
You should go back there and be like, remember me?
Yeah. Remember me?
They've got my picture on the wall.
What's that movie? Yeah. What's the movie? I'm trying to think where it's like go back in there and shop.
Pretty Woman.
Big mistake.
Pretty Woman moment.
Just go ride the ride over it over and over again.
I'm riding this all fucking day, buddy.
Yeah, it was. It was in fairness to that, I'm probably 195 pounds right now. I was probably 230 at that point.
Even that, honestly, what's funny? That doesn't seem.
It was pre being diagnosed with diabetes. My blood sugars were out of control, and no matter what I did, I was gaining weight. Like it was ridiculous.
Okay.
And so it was like, this is absurd. I think I weighed myself at 236, which is outrageous for me. Everything felt uncomfortable, but it was like that was the kick in the dick I didn't need. But it was like, what are you gonna do? So now, no, I wouldn't be kicked off it now, but. Back then it sucked, but the last thing I thought about was like, I've been wronged somehow. It's like, no,
I feel like an object.
No, I know.
Yeah, they all looked at me. It's like, you think everyone's looking at you, and in that case, they probably were. Big slob getting wheeled off with his toilet on his stomach.
I would say in this case they definitely were.
It sucks, but there's a reality there where it's like, boy, it sucks.
Well, here would be the difference. I would technically, maybe in this case, again, in his mind, if he had told them he has a condition.
The toilet is the problem. That's the only problem I have is the toilet is kind of critical information to leave out of that story. The wheelchair, I'm with you.
But he wasn't able to get to the bathroom anyway. So what is the difference?
Well,
like he wouldn't fit in the
because
toilet anyway.
If you do have to go to the bathroom, everyone else can just go to the bathroom. It's probably, and obviously I'm wrong on some level because they admitted like, we fucked up. We carry lots of, people that have disabilities. And there's something about that point they made in that story about being like you or family or someone you're traveling with has to be able to get you out of your wheelchair. So it's not incumbent on staff to like lift you up and put you in a seat. Like you need to be able to do that yourself. That's one of the rules. And so, in that situation, you're traveling, and I think he was traveling with his wife, who's an elderly woman, and someone named Sheila, some other chick. And it's like, dude, you're closing in on 5 bills. There's no way these ladies are picking you up and stuffing you into a bathroom. That makes it our problem. And so, no, it's like,
it's a tough fucking deal.
But it's like, there's just some things you're not going to be able to do,
No, there's no. I agree with that. I'm not like, believe me, I'm not sitting here saying that every single person. Of course, there's just because of life, and it sucks. But because of life, people get in situations that, you're right. Like not everyone can fly.
And the reality is, he got himself busted by bragging about his dope toilet in his bag. You know what I mean?
No, he got a big head about it. You needed to fucking lock it down, man. Like fucking keep that on the
DL, on the DL, dude. Because it would have been no one would have been the wiser, except he's blabbing.
Because most likely
can't wait to get up to 30,000 feet and take a shit in front of everybody. Like he's chirping, and they heard him. Like
that, and you're right. That bragging doesn't get any. It's a bad deal.
Never gets you anywhere. So we may be adding to the story, but yeah, they overheard him talking about his fucking sweet toilet.
I'd love to know I'd love to have, honestly, God, I'd love to have actual video. How this all went down.
I know.
including whatever that was, whatever her overhearing.
Well, she was
talking.
He said, a stewardess walked by. Let's see. Despite the precautions, a crew member overheard that the traveler kept a portable shitter in his carry-on luggage. A stewardess walked by and said, "Excuse me, do you have a urinal bottle?" My wife said yes, in case of emergencies. And she was like, hold on a minute. And she went up and talked to one of the pilots, and the pilot was probably like, fucking dude, no, you're not carrying a shitter onto the plane in case of emergencies. You look like you're a walking emergency. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. That is true.
So there's the point, kids. Don't brag about your crack pipe that you're smuggling in your fucking carry-on, right?
No, for sure.
Don't brag about your sweet toilet that you're smuggling on. Just cruise through, be cool. Hope you don't have to use it, but if you do,
well, they got braggy. Maybe it's worked all their time, and he thought, no one's gonna fucking stop me. I guess I'm good. What are they gonna do? Kick me off?
Yeah. All right, kids, this has been a lot of fun. Let's do an email. I should read too.
Oh, can I throw something in here, Mike, near the end, if you don't mind? Just a follow-up to our grievances from last week. I have to tell you two things. One, I have started watching Lost again, and I'm blowing.
I bet you're not the only one. It's great. It's a good watch.
Dude, I'm still curious how I'm going to feel at the end. Because I will tell you this, we don't have to get too into it, but my thought is still in the end that they're dead the whole time and it was purgatory. And then why does any of this matter technically? But I'll give that aside. I'll put that aside. What I will say is I'd like to pile on to my judgment on the grievance and say double pussy and double old man.
Which one? Mine?
Yes. All these funerals are warranted. Like, they're so warranted.
That's fine. I just don't need a fucking another eulogy speech. You missed your friend. Enough.
But they're characters, and their lives are like, when fucking Boone dies, you think his sister is going to get up and give a speech? Oh, sorry, if you haven't seen Lost yet. I think it aired the episodes I'm talking about aired 19 years ago.
Well, I stand by my anyway. and my issue wasn't with Lost. It seems like writers are getting off on this, like, wedding vows and eulogy scenes and a lot of things. So
what about, like I said, 100% came from Lost.
It did not just come from Lost. I'd had that rolling around in the back of my head for a while. Like, oh God. And I've started like clicking fast forward. Like, okay, you're just on with it. Yeah. You love her. You love him. Great. You do kiss the bride.
We needed to
I'm getting to the point too, where
we needed
any sort of kissing, and Isis, you'll back me on this one. Any sort of kissing scene is driving me nuts in programming too. And I realize that's too old man pussy for the masses to handle that thought, but I'm fucking irritated with make out scenes in movies too. I'm just going to put it out there. Fine.
When you think about it, what a bizarre, I get that acting is acting, and what a bizarre situation in acting when they have legit romantic scenes, like really heavy romance scenes. And it's like, this is not someone you're connected to on an emotional level, technically, and stuff like that. Like, it must be kind of crazy.
Well, they're really irritating me. And I think it's just because I'm a loser and I'm lonely, probably, that I feel that way. It's like, another perfect couple making out on like, fuck these people. There could be some of that. But I'm really finding myself at almost wit's end with like people making out on camera. Like, fuck off.
I will tell you, Mike, that actually Amy and I on my podcast talked about this a little bit. And I told her about the idea of Lost and how what a shock within less than a month, there's already these deep connections, and Charlie and of course they're into each other. And I said to her, maybe on my end though, it's just my like autistic nature or something, that like I've had some relationships. I have had intercourse and whatnot, but I have never once been a part of a situation where it's like, someone walks in the door and I'm just fucking it's go time.
Go
It's like
time.
the amount of time that happens in TV and movies, the amount
It's
of
ridiculous.
relationships in TV and movies where these people are just like animalistic, and it's like, oh my God, I can't even keep my hands off this person. I'm like, I have no fucking connection to that.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me. And so like in that sense, I get you with the making out scenes.
Yeah.
Because I get jealous of people on these shows where they're like, oh, fuck you. 2 weeks out of a plane crash. And of course you find this hot blonde chick
Yeah.
that you're just fucking into and she's into
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Charlie wants to start
Go fuck
fucking the
yourself.
pregnant one. He can't wait for her to spit out that kid.
Instantly.
Yeah,
Instantly.
immediately.
And she wants
And
it too. And she wants
Honestly,
it too.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I think Kate's all mouth in a makeout session. I think Kate's too mouth. She fucking swallows Jack's face at one point. She swallows Sawyer's
Or
face.
Sawyer.
It's too much.
Willing to make out with Sawyer instantly just to get some
Yeah,
information.
absolutely. Using what she's got. Well, I'm interested.
Would you,
I
Amy?
did not hate the ending of Lost as much as I did the first time around.
Yeah, you
It-
don't
it-
hate it
Okay.
as much the second time.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of taken out of the society. Everyone's talking about what are they going to do. There were so many conversations about how are they possibly going to explain
Right.
all this? How are they going to? And it's like it didn't.
The numbers. What do the
Weed
numbers
and the
mean,
smoke,
Mike?
like it just didn't kind of matter the second time around with just me watching it. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
they did a decent job,
I'll say
Yeah.
this,
They
though,
sort-
man. I fucking
Yeah.
love it.
and it's
Oh,
a
sorry.
good show.
I
It
fucking,
holds up.
I fucking
Yeah.
love it. And what I thought, that's the last I'll save it. But what I thought about it, what I'd never thought about the first time is how crazy the shooting for this must have been. Like, you
Yeah.
really, when you take into these flashbacks and when were they filming them as opposed to like, because people have beards or they have longer hair and these flashbacks that are so crucial to
Yeah.
everything. It must have been a wild shooting.
I'd love to do this tour. There's like a Lost tour you can take in Hawaii. Like they filmed that whole thing in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And
Right.
even the indoors, like the
Hawaii.
Hawaii,
Hawaii.
even like the scenes at the airport from Australia, like were all filmed
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, shooting in the jungle. When I see these people like laying down, like in the middle of the jungle, and it's like, oh, the shit that must have been crawling on Hurley when he's laying down in the middle. Like,
That's what I
Right.
said to Isis, and I was like, they don't ever do
Or
a
the
good
smell.
enough job acknowledging what the smell would be, the fact that nobody's brushed their teeth,
Yeah.
nobody's showered. Same thing in The Walking Dead. Like you have all these dead corpses rotting everywhere,
yeah,
and there's no acknowledgement of how bad it smells.
stinks.
Or like, holy shit, you haven't worn
Yeah. What
deodorant
kind of-
in 3 months and you fucking smell really bad. Like there
Yeah.
needs to be
It'd
more.
be great for me though, because it'd be an even playing field. Like in
True,
reality,
true.
my best situation is to get on a plane crash on a desert island because then we all
Yeah,
fucking
How
exactly.
fast? How fast would an unkempt vagine rot? Would it be like a nitmare after 3 days without a shower? Does that thing just
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about 3 days.
like a month? Like a month?
Yeah, it'd be pretty rough after a month. I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
I mean, I think about
A
that
month
with
for
Walking
sure.
Dead.
I like.
Oof. Must be a
Not
shit show.
I think about it when I see female athletes. And like let's say like the lady the girl that like Caitlin Clark, I don't know, I think she's actually straight. So like let's say like she goes home to some dude and she just got done playing her game and it's like you want to get it on.
I'm assuming she scrubs
about
up
that.
in the locker room after the game. Yeah,
Probably. I don't know why.
I'm more
I think of
concerned
it,
about The
though.
Walking Dead
You're
when it's like
sweating.
you've been 3 months without a shower. Like that vagine's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Just a
there's dead
nightmare.
bodies rotting everywhere around you.
Yeah, those too. Those
That
would
too.
stink as well.
Like really bad.
Those would. Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Anyway, whatever. I'm loving it though.
Good.
And honest to God, I literally only started watching it because you referenced it last week. It's the only reason. I've never considered rewatching it. I've often I've fought against it, in fact. And now I'm watching it. And I can't
Why
stop.
we
I'm just
call
like, okay,
him the
next
cult
episode. Next
leader.
episode.
that's right. I finished it last week and I miss it. Honestly, I
Yeah,
want to dive
miss
right
the-
back into their world.
You missed the
and
cast.
I do.
You know the thing is, Mike, and I know you'll appreciate this. I try not to watch as much TV as I used to, but I still watch a lot of it. There in my world, there is nothing like if you have a series that you're into.
Yeah.
So like when I sit down for lunch or something, it's like, okay, I have something I can
Yeah.
watch. If I don't have a series I'm going through, I'll sit there for hour. Be like, oh, I don't know this, nah, not this, nah. And I'm just like,
I need a new one. I'm like, I need a new one that I can jump into and run with. But
yeah, I'll try.
Have
to
you
think of
watched
something
Shameless,
maybe you haven't
Mike?
watched yet? Because I watch a lot of TV.
Shameless, is that the
I
Showtime
tried.
one with
William H. Macy?
that's like William H. Macy. I've seen parts of it.
It's good.
Yep.
It's a good
That one.
You know what's funny, Amy? What I thought about Shameless, and I think about all shows, is because they're all like this. For me, Shameless, I just got sick of it after the first season. Like, yeah, I get it. Okay, this is self-destructive behavior. Okay, this is going to happen. Okay, but like, if you like the characters and you like it, you can look past it. If for some reason they don't connect to you, you just get, all they do is point out like, okay, I get it. Yeah, this person's going to fuck up again.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty good. It's funny.
I didn't have a problem. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it, but I know it's very popular. I know it's very popular. Anyway,
no, you're good. All right. Deer Lake Athletic Club in Clarkston has a full gym, fitness, 3 pools, swim lessons, tennis, pickleball, and more. They offer summer memberships and kids' day camp too. The Backcourt restaurant inside is open to the public with weekly dinner specials, kids' meals for $5 on Thursdays, and live entertainment on Fridays and Saturdays. Breakfast on Sundays too. Make your reservation now for their Easter buffet coming up right around the corner. In the Deer Lake Banquet Center. Visit their website, deerlakeathletic.club.com, for more info on Deer Lake Athletic Club and Banquet Center. All right, let's do an email. Get out of here. Grok sucks the same wang they all do. How the hell do you adjust things? It lets me ask a question and then it's done. Garbage. What am I doing wrong? Do I have to log in or pay for it?
Yeah, I've not used that one, but I've not had that issue with.
You just keep like adding stuff to it. Like if you say something like, okay, but now add this, or make it more friendly, or make it, sound.
Yeah. Feed into it for
the
sure.
more you give it, the more robust it's going to be. But you can still keep like adding to it once it answers.
Right. But I only use mine for, like I write it. So I don't speak to it. And I haven't had it doing the voice stuff. Like I want to do the voice one, but I think with Grok, there is like a pay level that you can open up like different languages.
Oh, okay.
Like are you paying for it, Amy? Are you getting it?
No.
No.
Amy. Yeah.
Well, you've never used it, E. So
yeah.
And ChatGPT is cool. I like Grok the best right now. I find that kind of cuts through. Like Google is worthless. Google gives so much bullshit and just give me what I'm looking for. Don't try to paint it colorfully. Just, and Grok does so far a really good job. I see some people bitching about it. So maybe I'll find that too, but I haven't found that yet. But as far as like getting the super angry, like, or talking shit version of Grok, are you getting that, Amy? Or are you?
So I think, I think you have to, it's the way you ask things.
Address it or him.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to, Jesus Christ, my fucking microphone. I can't talk anymore. I give up.
Why? You're fine. It's actually coming through.
If you like type like go in unhinged mode, or, I want you to be an asshole in this, or, like you can talk to it like that versus, it being friendly.
Yeah, but do you get yours to do voice? Does yours do voice notes back to you? Does it talk, or do you have to pay for that?
Yeah, I just type it.
Okay. Well, I did Chat GPT and had one when I first started it, and I was like, tell me about the Drew and Mike show. And it was like, oh, the Drew and Mike show is a legendary show, and da-da-da-da. And then I was like, tell me about the Detroit cast. And
did it say?
Oh, anything? Yeah. And it was like, had a cult-like following, blah, blah, blah. But it acted like it fucked up my name. It knew Eric and Jay and then fucked up my name and called me like Mark. And I was like, what?
And so I was like, even ChatGPT gets you two mixed up.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, really? Yeah. I was like, okay, fuck this. So
that's very human.
Yeah, right. But I would think, okay, you're supposed to cut through the fat and know who, that's the whole point of you. So I don't know. I've asked it a few things, but then I got,
well, it's not.
I found Grok, and I was like, oh, Grok's really good, so far.
Okay.
So, and I am not paying for it. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep messing with it, and I imagine it'll get better over time. But so far, it's done what I've asked it to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I know you guys are going to get out of here. Ames, we'll be back tomorrow. Isis, so good to see you, buddy, on this DEI Tuesday. Dumb Isis involved. So when do you head out of town, Isis?
Next Thursday.
Okay, so if you want to come on one day next week, I don't know what your schedule looks like. We can do that.
Yeah. Probably Wednesday, but I can talk to you about it.
Yeah. Well, the Karen Reed case will be going on by then, so I'll be able to give you guys all an update.
Oh, I can't wait.
I successfully, or maybe Mike too, but we successfully, I did not get any updates about this trial, apparently.
You did a little bit in the beginning. You did a little bit.
Yeah. The nuts and bolts, and it's a whole new trial starting soon. So we'll see.
I'm totally kidding. I get why people.
Yeah. No. I want Amy. Your job is going to be to keep tell me what I need to be watching, because I know there's going to be a lot of online coverage, and then whatever court TV is today, if that exists, there will be some. So my guess is you'll be all over it. And
I will be watching the trial.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yep. Okay.
Will you be working during that?
Yeah. I just, I've got an AirPod in, and it's playing in the background while I'm doing work on my computer.
Gotcha.
These fucking multitaskers. I'm so jealous. I just wish I could do that, but can't do it.
Yeah. I can do it with sports, but I don't know if I could do it with. I can't do it with anything. I could have a Tiger game on.
I can't do it. If I start watching the trial, I will literally sit down and take notes on the trial. It's the only way I could talk about it later. That's it. So,
yep, I get it.